Hello, I am Jess Woods, your tempo host this week for Marathon Week here in Chicago, and I am very excited to have such a different guest on so far, the opposite of the marathon. I feel like we have Cole Hocker here with us today. Welcome, Cole.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So just a quick bio in case anyone doesn't somehow know who you are, but you have had an insanely massive year this year.
Thanks.
You won at New Hayward Field, sixth place at the Olympics in the 1500, and you recently went pro with Nike at the ripe age of 20 years old. So impressive year for 2020. What have I left out? 2021. What have I left out?
Yeah, well, thank you. And I won the trials, which was a big deal.
That was a very big deal, and how you ended up at the Olympics in Tokyo, yes?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the first step. And also just what made this season like that much more like action-packed is just because I also did a collegiate season as well. And I was able to win 3 NCAA titles this year, which I was pleasantly surprised, to say the least.
Were you surprised?
Not like, I guess I'm thinking more like a year ago maybe, but like this year I knew, like every one of those races I was going in to win. But yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So can we start from the very beginning, and instead of getting to know Cole as a runner, getting to know Cole as a human, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, whether it's what you're doing when you're not running, what's on your playlist right now? Give us a little insight into Cole.
Yeah, well, I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana originally. Moved out to Oregon, obviously, when I went to school there. I'm still in Eugene for the foreseeable future. I love running there, and I love like the team, like just running. Like those guys like help me get better in so many ways. The coaches and everything. I'm just trying to kind of hang on to that, I guess, just because that culture is so rare a lot of the time, and you found something good like in the sport when everything just clicking like it was last year. But outside of running, I mean, Kanye West is always on rotation. That's my favorite artist of all time.
Nice.
Then Pop Smoke is also really big. He's always on shuffle, and yeah, I like a lot of things though. Like,
Did I hear that you also got into music as in creating your own music now?
yeah. Like I'm still like very beginner, but I like kind of taught myself piano on just like YouTube videos and stuff like that. And then my roommate got a guitar last year, so naturally I got a guitar as well. So I've been teaching myself that as well. And then, recently I bought, like, if you're a music nerd, you'll know, but it's called an OP1, and it's just like this little, like, synthesizer, like MIDI thing. But yeah, I was jamming out on the plane with that, super portable.
Awesome.
Yeah, but
So would you say that's your number one thing outside of running? Is that what you find yourself doing when you're not running?
yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I just like mess around really. Like I'm not like super talented. Like I'm not like trained in like classical piano or anything, but I just have fun, make little beats, cook up, and just have fun with it.
And we can find it on YouTube? Or have you kept it to yourself?
Not yet, no.
Not yet?
It's still,
Okay.
Yeah. I want to.
Fingers
but,
crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But
give the people what they want.
yeah. If there's yeah, let me know if that's what you want, all the people out there, and I'll make a YouTube channel about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you first get into running? Have you been running all of your life? Who did you look up to? Did anyone inspire you to get into the sport?
Yeah, I mean, more of like, not necessarily a great athlete, like, or not a professional athlete, but just like close. Like my best friend was doing it. His older brother was really good, and like looking up to him. And then my dad ran in high school, and he completely dove back into it when I showed like a little interest towards it. He didn't push me into it or anything, and he just really like let me find the like fun in it all, which still to this day is what he does. Just because
that's awesome.
enough people like I mean, there's just so many pressures already. Like, I'm just very thankful not to have that coming from my parents, and they just really let me enjoy it all. And he runs, like, he got really into like ultra running pretty much. He did a 50-mile run for his 50th birthday, and
Oh,
yeah,
now
so like,
you're talking
yeah,
my
my
language.
dad's
I
always
like this.
yeah, he's been running since I got back into it, and just always there. Like, he's fully bought in and was like at all of my practices all the way through high school. And yeah, that was
Oh,
a big
that sounds like
inspiration.
an awesome support system that
Yeah,
you have.
definitely.
So you don't find pressure, or you don't feel pressure from your family or maybe your immediate circle, but did you feel a lot of outside pressure going into the Olympics?
Um,
And if you
yeah,
did, how did you handle that pressure?
yeah. Like, of course there was pressure, but at the same time I had qualified, like, and I won the trials, and that was kind of in my mind of, like, I didn't like squeak onto the team, and I mean, of course, Sensuous, the defending gold medalist, was there, but looking at it just place-wise, I was the favorite runner for the U.S. With that, like, #1 spot, and that added some pressure because I don't know, I put a lot on myself, and
Yeah.
just thinking, like, I don't want to let people down or just get out in like the first round or something. Like, I was not going to be happy with that. But then when I got there, the pressure really kind of like became less than I thought it would be, just
Once
because,
you were there?
yeah. And especially like the first race was in the morning, which was very different for a track race, especially the entire season. Like, we never raced in the morning. It was like 8 a.m., I'm pretty sure, in Tokyo, and it was raining too, and I don't know what it was, but for whatever reason we started that race, and I was like, well, also there was no fans. I was like, this doesn't really feel like the Olympics, like I've
Yeah.
thought of all these years, but in a good way. Like, that helped me, and I was
Oh,
just,
that worked to your advantage?
yeah, I was just like racing, like,
Yeah.
back to the basics pretty much, which a lot of the times you forget when you get in a really competitive race like that, and like starstruck by all these insane athletes. But yeah, that's pretty much how I felt.
Would you say that that was your favorite memory of the Olympics, or what? And it could be even non-running related. What was your best memory from the Olympics?
Yeah, my favorite memory from Tokyo was just probably after the final. You just go back to the village. You just finished the Olympic final. I was stoked with 6. It was like insane race, like crazy competition, and my teammate from Oregon, Charlie Hunter, was also there. He was in the 800 for Australia, and I just went back and had dinner with him, and it just felt like so casual. Like, I just imagined before going there that everything was so intense at the Olympics, and I don't know, I was just like really happy in that moment of just, yeah, with one of my teammates who I knew really well, and we're at the biggest stage in the sport, and just like chilling after like the biggest race of both of our lives.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Almost like you weren't at the Olympics anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that just means that you have to go back again and then get a completely different experience
Yeah, I
with
know.
crowds, with with support.
No, yeah, actually though, yeah.
Yeah. So what have you been up to post Olympics?
So I went home immediately, like following the Olympics, back to Indiana, and just chilled there for like 3 weeks. I didn't run for like a week and a half, and then kind of got back very slowly back into it, and still working back into it, and just trying, because I've never been in this position. I've always had a season coming up right around this time.
Mm-hmm.
So now it feels different, and I have to like remind myself, like, there's no need to push this workout right now. Like, I got like a lot of time, and like there's no reason to force any injuries or anything right now. So
Yeah.
it's really a lot of reminding myself to chill right now, running and just like life-wise. I mean, I've done another big thing was setting up the entire, like, I signed professionally, which was a lot, like mentally, like all of it going down, and of course I have a lot of relations with like my teammates at Oregon. It was a hard decision. Like, it's hard to step out of like your comfort zone at any level. And
so does that mean that you are not going to be training with your teammates anymore? Like, do you still get to train with the team after you signed?
Yeah, so I'm technically a volunteer now at the university, so I'm able to train with them. Yeah, I really just want to stay put through the world cycle and just keep everything the same because, like I said, it just has worked. And so, yeah, I'm training with the team still, and yeah, that's going well. But that was a big, setting up the whole professional thing, deciding that, getting it all set in stone, took up the majority of the time post-Olympics. Yeah.
And are you back in school? Are you still studying?
Yeah, I'm taking classes online right now. Looks
Okay.
like, yeah.
And what are you studying?
I'm doing general social sciences. Yeah.
Okay.
Super exciting stuff.
Very exciting.
For the very intellectual, that's what they say about that degree. But yeah, still in school. Like, not that much has changed in my personal life, really. So
Okay.
yeah, it's kind of nice.
And so you've taken a physical reset with some weeks off and gradually getting back into things. Have you had time to reflect on this past year? Have you had time to do a mental reset and kind of like get your mind right mentally to now move on to the next thing?
Yeah, definitely. That was like a big part of going home. It was always nice.
Yeah.
Like, I was able to go back to my high school while I was in town, and yeah, that's like a good way to mentally reset, I think, and just follow it, like going back to simpler times, I guess. But yeah, I feel like mentally refueled, if you want to say, yeah.
So then, do you have a plan of what's next for you racing wise? Have you looked at that calendar yet? Do you have a plan?
Very like briefly. I mean, I know like the very big ones, like, I mean, on the horizon, but coming up very quickly is the Worlds Outdoor, and that's at Hayward, of course. That's like a big, like it would. I want to get to Worlds for like so many reasons, obviously, but that would just make it that much cooler. It's kind of like my second hometown now, which is cool.
Yeah.
But
is it your favorite place to run? Where is your favorite place to run?
I don't know. That's kind of a interesting, like, because I like the facilities and stuff like that. That part makes it just like unmatched compared to so many places. I don't know. I could do without like the 40 degrees and like pissing rain like 50% of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of my favorite places to run.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'd go like somewhere cool in Europe or something as favorite place to run. Probably not really Eugene, Oregon, but it does the job.
No offense to Eugene, Oregon.
No, not at all.
Okay, so wait, I cut you off. Finish your schedule or what you've got coming up.
Oh, right. Like, yeah, like very big events, and then I haven't really sat down and set up an outline yet of what I want to do, like what I want to capitalize on, because the season's just so different now than collegiate season where it was peaking like multiple times. And you want to do that to an extent, I guess, as a professional, and you know what races are important, but it's really all focused towards one big build, towards that world event, whether it's the Olympics or Worlds. And there's Worlds indoors to think about, and just a lot of stuff that like I hadn't thought about until like a month ago. So yeah, I am very excited though to see what the professional calendar will look like for me though.
Yeah, I think we're all excited to see what your calendar looks like.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so you kind of started to touch upon some rapid fire questions here. So we want to get to know some this or that answers from you, just to get to know you a little bit better as a person. So first one coming up, do you prefer running solo or with a group?
With a group.
With a group. Why?
Yeah, so yeah, you say it's rapid
I said
fire.
yeah, so it's rapid fire with a follow-up. Let's
With
go rapid
follow-up.
fire with a follow-up.
Yeah, because I do
Why
have
do
a
we
follow-up.
prefer
Because
group runs?
I was just thinking it from like a strictly like every run. Like I'd rather always want to run with a group than always run alone, just because running alone just gets so boring, like as a distance runner. Like I really enjoy going out like 1 or 2 times a week by myself and just thinking about nothing, but to get through runs, which a lot of the time is what you're trying to do, a group is there to have like stupid conversations and just make the time go by quicker. So yeah, that's my answer.
I feel like it's a common misconception that running is a solo sport, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Okay, so I feel like we know the answer to this one, but I'm gonna ask it anyways. Do you listen to music or no music while you're running? I guess when you're going on your few and far between solo runs.
Yeah, I really like listening to music on those runs. It's kind of the same thing. I enjoy both because sometimes I need that boost to where like, I don't know, music just like makes like, I don't know, it just gives you that boost on a run where like you can just like keep going forever. Sometimes you feel like you get that like runner's high that like people always talk about that I never get, it seems like. But
you haven't found that runner's high yet?
I'm still waiting for it.
Oh goodness, maybe you haven't run far enough yet.
Yeah, maybe
to
not.
To find it.
Yeah, but I also like just listening to like the nature and stuff when I'm on a run. So
totally fair.
But I really like listening to music on a run.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's mainly Kanye, or it's a big mix?
It's a big mix, but yeah, Kanye generally.
All right.
Yeah.
So is it morning? Do you prefer morning or nighttime runs?
Morning for sure.
Morning for sure. Runs and races?
Races nighttime.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just everyday runs, morning runner.
Yeah.
Got it. And then this is the one that you alluded to already, but prefer running in the freezing rain or sweltering heat?
Yeah, I'm taking the heat.
We're taking the heat.
They
any
both
day.
suck, but there's like a new pain. Like it's worse if it was like 5 degrees and not raining is better than like 45 degrees and raining. It's just horrible being like soaked on a run.
I feel ya. Well, at least our marathoners don't have to worry about that this weekend. So they're going to get this sweltering heat this weekend. I guess if you prefer running in the heat, do you have any advice for our racers in the heat on Sunday?
For a marathon, I'd be like lost on what to do, to be honest. But like for the trials, it was like over 100 for like
you
every
have
day.
Plenty of experience in it now.
Yeah, the thing is, like I always told myself, like, well, it's only like 3.5 minutes. Like you can't only get so hot in that time, but like I can't say the same about this.
Yeah, it's like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, but I stayed like AC as long as you possibly can.
Okay.
And like ice vest and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Before. But I feel like that'd wear off pretty quick in a marathon.
I don't know. We're seeing some. I mean, it used to just be the ultra runners, but now we're starting to see it in the marathon of no shame, ice under the hat, like ice in the sleeves. Yeah. Keep yourself cool. Love it. Okay, so are you a runner that goes with or without a watch on your runs?
I go with.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like I don't know, like I need to hit this exact mileage kind of guy, but I like to see where I'm at and stuff.
Okay.
Like especially with our training now, it's kind of helpful to know.
Do you do any watchless runs?
I wish I could say I did. Like I used to like all the time. Like halfway through high school, I got a watch finally. But most runs I have a watch on. Yeah.
Okay. And are you into either visualizations or mantras? Like what helps you get mentally prepared before your races?
I'd say like visualization.
Or neither. Could be meditation. What is it?
Yeah, no, like I like visualizing things for sure. Yeah, and 'cause that's the way I like before. I don't know. I like writing things down in pen and like setting it as a goal. I guess I don't know if visualization and like goal setting are kind of the same thing. I definitely like see myself at the top of the world, like in any race, like in the future. Sort of visualize that, I guess, but really just write down a very lofty goal and then kind of leading up goals to that and making it happen. It's one step at a time, pretty much.
So you have your big lofty goal and then your actionable, like, mini goals in order to reach that big goal.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, for example, like a year prior to the Olympics, the lofty goal was to make the Olympic team, and the goals leading up were become an NCAA champ, get the trials, or get the Olympic standard, which finally got at the Olympics, but it doesn't matter. And like stuff like that, you know, like they're big like goals in themselves, but I looked at it as like milestones on getting to that very big goal.
I feel like the additional year was massively beneficial for you. What do you think? I mean, it's hard to predict what would have happened, but what were you doing in that additional year that you had to train to get you ready? What did that look like?
So I was home a lot of the time. Whenever the outdoor season got canceled, I went home pretty soon after that, and then our coach had us doing like time trials with whatever training group, because some people were together on the team, just that whether they were in Boulder or Eugene or wherever, and I was by myself for the most part, and I kind of like linked up with some old like high school teammates who run in college as well, and that made it easier. But then I ran some like solo time trials, and I ran some times that I was like, well, if I could do that solo, like, I don't know, like during that time period is when I sort of started seeing a lot more potential in myself, which was really helpful, even though it was like a time of just like kind of hollowing and like, I don't know, like counting the days away.
Yeah, it's so impressive to be running those times as a solo time trial.
Yeah, and so then like after that all happened and I came back for the fall, I felt like a much better runner and a different runner. And then I had my teammate there, Cooper, who was the previous season like much higher ranked than me, and he had the times, like much better times than me, and I just put myself like with him, and I was like, well, that's what I want my next step to be. I want to be right there with him. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay, I have maybe a fun one to end on, maybe not a fun one, but what do you prefer racing in? You got the hair flowing or man bun?
Yeah, I like the look of my hair down much more, but it's just not practical, you know. So.
It's not practical? Have you tried it?
Yeah, my bun falls out a lot of the time, so sometimes I just like yank it out halfway through. I don't know if I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta do like a tutorial. Like,
Yes.
I'm gonna have you show me, but maybe it's the
No one's
other way
told me.
around.
I'm self-taught on the bun, so.
Self-taught on the bun, okay.
And it's a struggle.
Yeah, or maybe we can get into braiding or something?
Yeah, maybe. No, yeah. Something, I don't know. I need some suggestions on how to keep it up. But
Okay.
for a run, I gotta keep it up. Yeah.
Okay.
Outside of that, I like to keep it down.
All right, maybe we'll ask in the comments for some
Yeah, we should.
tutorials on
Yeah,
hairstyles for race day.
yeah.
Love it. Okay, so are you staying in town for the marathon?
Mhm.
And is this the first major marathon you've spectated? First marathon in general?
No, it's like the second major one.
Okay.
I actually watched Shalane win New York,
Really?
which is pretty cool. Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah,
And you get to watch her again.
yeah. Seriously, full circle.
Yeah. Okay, so above and beyond watching Shalane come crush the miles again, what are you most excited about, or who are you most excited about to watch on Sunday? What are you excited to see?
I mean, Galen, is a legend.
He is
like-
an absolute legend, yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's my answer.
Okay, period,
Yeah.
Galen, legend. All right, so I know that maybe the marathon isn't necessarily your thing, but you must be able to give some sort of last minute advice to our racers on Sunday, and maybe it has nothing to do about the distance, maybe it's like mental prep, recovery, or whatever, but what would be your last minute advice for our racers?
Yeah, I mean, I feel funny giving advice to marathoners
I
because
love
they're
this.
probably like, what do you know about it? Because it's nothing, but
But you know a little bit about competition, you know a little bit about racing, so you must have
yeah, And also, like, if you're like competing in the elite, like you know a lot of this, but like what I always do is like, I mean, when I'm on the line, if I'm like ranked last in the race by far, like I just think like I'm on the racing line, like with all of these guys, and like all these like barriers like disappear, all these rankings and stuff disappear once the gun goes off, and just I'm like in it to win the race, just regardless, and just imagining like just placing myself up there with the top guys
Yeah.
and beating them.
That ranking doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
When the gun goes off. It's a totally different day.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's my
Well,
tip.
Thank you so much. Our racers will appreciate it. Appreciate the somewhat rapid fire and taking some time out to talk with us today.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course. So definitely, we're going to be getting some comments, but how do they follow along, like, with you and to be able to watch your next moves? We are going to be on the lookout for a YouTube channel, and what else?
Yeah, the music YouTube channel is TBA, and
Yeah.
then I'm like most active on Instagram. It's just Cole Hocker, nothing else. So pretty
Alright.
easy to find, I think. Yeah.
Awesome. Can't wait to continue following you and continue watching you excel.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.